Today marks 1413 days shared lessons of learning and continue to learn with you. I hope these insights will inspire you, support your dreams, help achieve your goals, really empower you to become the person that you want to become. Today I speak about relationships, and specifically about takers and givers. Takers and givers. And I think that we need to understand who is takers and who is givers, because if we do not have awareness about takers and we allow takers to come into our lives, it might be that those takers will take away so much in our lives. So understanding what we need to consider when I think about takers in our lives, I think that this will allow us to really bring people who nurture us, who uplift us, who allow us to grow to the best version of ourselves. Because this topic is about the journey to become the best version of you. But if you have takers in your life who take away your energy, your life source, your abilities, and add some self-doubt, and of course it's very hard to really pursue your goals, pursue your vision, pursue all the things that you have set for yourself. So today we'll share 5 things that you need to consider about takers. So number 1 is the energetic economy. And this is very, very interesting, because of course when you think about relationships, it's supposed to have that balanced reciprocity. So one gives, other takes, and other takes, and other gives. And then that's because, for me, I love the analogy of breathing. You breathe in, you breathe out. You breathe in, you breathe out. It means that is what true relation looks like. You give and take, you give and take. And the worst part about takers is that they take in and they're not able to give out anything. And it's what's the interesting thing is that when you think about really relationships is not a limited company. I don't know if you're aware of what limited company is and what is solopreneurship or partnership. Because when you are solopreneur and partnership, that means that you are giving all your assets. So limited liability companies has just that company, so that you're not liable for the business going bankrupt or anything with your own personal assets. So I think that when you think about relationships, we're risking everything. So what it means is that when you are in the relationship, if you are having a relationship with a taker, they will take the energy, but because you still want to be the kind of person who gives, that means that you take that energy not from a relationship, because the relationship is supposed to have their own energy. It's give and take. So that means that when you don't have that energy in that relationship that has built because of one person is just taking everything, at that moment, what you have started to take is your own personal energy. And it's gets out of your life energy, life source. And that energy is supposed to be allocated to really more things. So that means that this taker relationship disturbs all your personal energy. Relationship is supposed to create energy, but now when they think about being a taker, they take energy. And I always say that energy is the most important resource in your life. The most important resource. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how much time you have. What matters is how much energy you have to use the time and money that you have. So that means that you are in a relationship with the taker, and it takes away from the relationship, it takes away from your personal energy. At that moment, that means you have less energy to pursue the dream that you have set for yourself. So when you think about energy, you need to ask, okay, where my energy goes. And when you look into your energy, you can see like where's my emotional, mental, spiritual energy goes. And it starts to, when you still have accounts and balances of that, and you really have a budget of those energies, I think that and at that moment you start to realize, okay, like, wow, I allocate to this relationship so much of my energy. I thought that that's how it's supposed to do, but this is not how it's supposed to be. Relationship supposed to build energy, not take energy. And if you see that there is a relationship in your life that is taking your energy, that means that maybe we need to reconsider and maybe potentially even walking away just to make sure that we're able to protect the most important resource in life, and that is energy. Number 2 thing that we need to consider about takers is psychological shaping. And I think that is very, very important to understand that could be some and then sometimes you can call it narcissistic behaviors or tendencies, when people start to really shape your identity, shape or distort the way how you see yourself. And I think that sometimes we're able to start to see ourselves as givers, and if we look at how much we give and how much we tolerate and how much we provide, rather than just being there. And sometimes when you think about the best relations, being there is the most important thing. when you think about parents, just being your kid for your parents will be more than enough. You don't need to give anything to really make your parents happy. I know exactly that it's unconditional love. And I think that when we think about relationships and friendship love is very important as well. So it means if there is no love, there is unconditional love. It means that that relation will lead to taking or giving rather than really having reciprocity in that relationship. So I think that when you think about that other person who is taker and he has a tendency to take, I think that he's not able to really handle boundaries. So that means a person who is right, who is giving, might be that his identity, like, and boundaries will be eroded, and I think that because of that, sometimes even worldview will narrow. Because I think that a lot of times because takers take away the energy, life source, that means the other person doesn't have the energy to grow, to improve as much, and life shrinks because of that. So that's the thing that when you think about people that you spend with, when you ask, okay, does my worldview expand after speaking with them, or does my worldview about myself, about the world, get smaller? Because I think that you have experience. I think that every single person experiences that there are some people who really uplift you and some people discourage you. And like, I think that we need to understand who is what, because we need to be very, very careful. Like, especially when I think that we need to choose what kind of topics do we speak with certain people. Because if you want to bring ideas, some big ideas that potentially could challenge the person, that person might want to challenge you even more just to make sure that they could feel superior. And that means that your ability to really come up with ideas will make that taker say that no, I cannot allow you to really come up with such a great idea. So that means they will come up with all the terrible risks that might be coming with your idea. Number three is the subtle cost. And this is probably one of the most important, but a lot of times not discussed, is that alternative cost. That means that what it is that if you are losing your energy, if you're losing um, that life source, what it means that it steals your future growth. And that means that you are keeping yourself in an anchor, like a cycle of depletion. You deplete yourself, deplete yourself, deplete yourself, you give, you give, you give. And that means that rather than giving to depletion, that means that that energy could be allocated to so many different things. And that is, again, the subtle cost, because sometimes we not even consider how much we would able to achieve with the energy that we allocate to the things that really do not bring any return on our investment. Because I think that when you have nurtured relationships, there's a return on investment. A return on investment is that you have a person that you can able to trust, depend on, rely on. Sometimes it's just being there and not saying anything. That's the only thing that you need from another person. They don't need to have like money. They don't need to invest your money. What they need to be there for you. My brother was the best at that. He always knew how to be there for me. He was always safe in that, even though that he didn't need to give me money, he didn't give me anything. Just his time and presence was all I needed. And I think that's why we need to really reflect on what I'm losing staying in this relationship, what I'm losing having this person into my life. And because that is a subtle cost. Number four is why takers stay in our lives. And I think that's again, it comes into understanding that they stay into our lives because we allow to. And for them, it's convenient because they're taking. That means that it's convenient. So that means that it's up to you to really be able to really release wounds or let things go. Because I think that when you think about psychology, a lot of times it says that people stay in a wrong relation because of unhealed wounds. I mean, I think that sometimes even that's great because it reveals that there is some things internally that you need to work on, develop, improve, get better, understand, work on your shadow work. Just understand, okay, what kind of wounds potentially I have that allowed me to bring this kind of taker into my life. Because taker will not stay in your life if you don't have anything to give. There was something that you had to give. And when you think about unhealed wounds and being able to focus that, second thing is going to be that hidden payoffs. It might be that you still feel like a healer and want to help other person, want to improve other person's life. And as again, this could be a payoff of feeling that you are needed and necessary. But I think that the most important part to understand in life that I learned as well, that we need to understand that we are humans as well, and we need things as well for ourselves, and we need to take care of our needs first. And it says that like, when you fly with airplane, they always say that first put your mask on yourself, and then you're able to put masks on other people. But first take care of yourself. First, you have to take care of your own needs, because if you don't, you're not able to help anybody. And sometimes it could be just fear of loss, because we have familiarity with other people, even though that they are not the best for us, but they are feeling comfortable because they know exactly what we're supposed to expect from them. And last one, number 5, is transforming the dynamics. And I think that when you understand there is the dynamic of giver and taker, we need to really have that radical awareness. Radical awareness, what's going on. I think that radical awareness allows to take agency for ourselves again. Because I think that until we have awareness, we're able to really fall in the same over and over again. And I think that sometimes we walk the same street and then we falling in the same hole every single day until we build awareness that, wow, in this path, there's always a hole. Maybe you need to go around it. Maybe you need to choose a different path and then not fall into that, into this unconscious falling mistake. At the same time, I think that one of the most important things that we need to reclaim our worth, because no one is bad. No one deserves to always give. I think that nobody is deserving that. Every single person deserves nurturing relationships. Every single person deserves, and every single person is enough, more than enough, to really have someone that really truly loves them unconditionally without really needing anything. I think that's the beautiful part when you really don't need anything. The only thing that you need is presence of other person. That's where true unconditional love is. And when I think about unconditional love in everything, in acquaintances, in friendships, in people in general, in kids, I think that's the beautiful thing. And I think that's the last and probably the most important part is really courageous choices that we make after we have that radical awareness, because we need to reclaim our value. At that moment, we're able to really recalibrate our energy and say that I'm not willing to give away my energy anymore. I'm not willing to do so. And because if I'm not willing to do so, if I'm not able to really explain that, if I'm not able to be understood, and maybe other person is belittling me because of my choices, maybe it's time to walk away. Maybe it's time to really change altogether. Maybe it's time to really find people who really understand the value that you bring to the table and are able to bring your value at the same time as well. And I think it's a courageous choice. It's a courageous choice to speak and have a conversation, because it might be that they're giving not because of a bad intent, but because of the way how have been treated by themselves. And they are more than willing to change if you're able to really explain the situation. Because what we have learned as well that a lot of takers are the givers who were mistreated, and now they learn the ways of takers. And if they're able to heal from that, they of course are able to become those people who that were spending time with. But if they are not able to really reflect on that, and they are takers and they're not willing to change, I think that sometimes we need to have that courageous choice to be able to walk away and say, like, I'm worthy. I love myself enough to really be able to say, like, I need growth. I need change. I want to become the best version of myself. I need to pursue my vision, and I need to do all the things necessary because I'm willing to do what's sometimes uncomfortable just to make sure that I get to my goal. So I hope you just win, and see you tomorrow.